The Infowars crew is doing an amazing job. Our reporters volunteer without me even asking to go to the border this weekend because of the fact that we had reports they're collapsing the border completely. The Border Patrol's been ordered to stand down. Indeed, we are now about to speak to ICE and Border Patrol agents who are about to break gag orders and go public. In fact, they're so angry, they're ready to use their full names, but I think we're going to withhold that for their own safety. That's how upset the Border Patrol is, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Because every country in the world has a Border Patrol. The U.S. is one of the most open borders in the world. The most liberal free handouts of any country. Biden is down in Central America right now to promote the illegal immigrant wave. To actually say, come on. As part of Battleground Texas, you name it, the Democrats admit they're going to bring in another 5% or more of the population who will then be given driver's license, who will then vote in California and Texas. Game over. Game over. They're going to ban the guns. They're going, the armored vehicles, the militarized police, all of it, they're coming. I know we got JJ, Steve, Mark, Adam, Damien, and others who we're going to go to here in just about 10 minutes, but they're filing reports on the ground. Again, the reporters stayed up until 6 in the morning, and I saw them filing reports when I woke up at 6 a.m. I first checked the news while I'm brewing coffee, and they were posting in live time. Joe Jennings, Adon Salazar, and Jakari Jackson. And when I talk to my reporters on the ground or even here when they're seeing it, you shake your head when a bus drives right through the border. Teenagers get off. They're loaded on white vans and taken to churches, Catholic churches, evangelical churches, you name it. They're at the Sacred Heart Church in McAllen, Texas right now. We'll show TV viewers a map of that photo and video, a live video feed. If you're a radio listener, you can hear our reporters. If you're a radio listener and want to see it, go to Infowars.com/show to see the free feeds, or prisonplanet.tv. But this is what the mainstream media won't show you. Last week, we went and showed military bases in San Antonio with thousands of illegal alien children. And again, they are illegal aliens to this country. That's the term. Resident alien. That's what they call you in Mexico. If you're there illegally, is an alien of the country. It's a statement under common law. It means that you don't get all the benefits. Well, instead, the illegals get more benefits than citizens do. And this is outrageous. And I know I keep saying that. But this is the political takeover. If these people voted 50% libertarian, 50% communist, I would be upset about it. If they voted 100% libertarian but got free welfare, I'd be against it because it would mean that we're creating a welfare class. But we've already created a welfare class, and the chickens are coming home to roost now, where if they can get enough government constituents in who are on the government payroll, it's game over. Let's go to Jakari Jackson, John Bound, Joe Jennings, and Adon Salazar, all 4 reporters down there on the border, to tell us about what they've witnessed in the last 24 hours and what's coming up.
Hey, how you doing, Alex? Jakari Jackson, John Bound here in McAllen, Texas, as you already alluded to. Now, if people haven't seen our video from last night, I do encourage you to go to Infowars.com and also the Drudge Report. You can see us at a bus station here in McAllen, and we witnessed children getting on church buses, one church in particular, the Family Church, also located here in McAllen, Texas. Now, since then, last night we had to speculate a little bit because we didn't quite know for sure that these were illegal immigrants. Since that video has posted just about 20 minutes or so ago, we went to the Family Church, and we were able to talk to somebody off camera who did confirm that, yes, these are illegal immigrants coming from these Central American countries. I asked the lady who spoke to me off camera, I said, where are most of these people coming from? She said, you have a lot of people from Guatemala, but she did correct me. She said none of these children, at least in her care, are coming alone. All these children are coming with their mothers. And from the Family Church, they are moved here to the Sacred Heart Church, also located just a few blocks from the bus station. And here they have shower facilities, and I guess they get the kids ready. And then from here, they take them back to the bus station. And I asked the lady at the family church. I said, where are they going from here? She said, wherever they want to go. They have family here. They have other situations going on, and they just go wherever they need to go.
Well, that's what Obama said last week. He said, if you can come here, your families are welcome as well, and invited the immigrants to come with their children. I mean, this is unprecedented. Jakari, go ahead.
Yes, and I asked the representative at the family church, I said, who's paying for these tickets? She said, you know, they have family that send the money. I said, is the government involved in any way? She said, as far as she knows, the government is not.
Well, Kit wrote a story over the weekend that went viral that a listener tipped us to. NPR has the major church groups on raising money to bring them here. So I'll guarantee you look into these churches and look into the larger churches above them, they're getting donations to basically house these people, pay for their food, and deploy them. And money's being sent into Mexico, into Guatemala, into Nicaragua, into El Salvador to bring these people up. That's on record.
That's right. That's right. John, what are your thoughts?
Well, speaking on that, Senator John Cornyn 3 days ago said that we should send money to Mexico. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So my main concern here is the Cloward-Piven strategy. People need to get out of their fog and realize this is a complete invasion of America. Truly is. They're using your compassion to come in here and create a guaranteed annual strategic income for all of us. A flat income is what the Cloward-Piven strategy is. If you're not familiar with it, you need to get familiar with it right now, because it is the Democratic liberal strategy that they are putting into place, and they're at the final stages right now. We're looking at it. We've also got MS-13 coming through, and the problem with that is that you look at the ISIS soldiers. A lot of those soldiers in ISIS are teenagers. A lot of the soldiers in the Ivory Coast are teenagers. So what happens when we have these teenage
and not to mention
psychotics?
The gangsters here in the U.S. are often teenagers as well. And one more thing to add on to what John was saying, we hear so much that these children are trying to flee the conditions in their country. But what about the conditions in this country? As John already said, we already have a gang problem here in the United States.
How does having collapsing Mexico collapse into us and then making us a third world country, how does that fix it? I mean, these are unskilled people pouring in, going directly on. I mean, these are not the hard-working Mexican men that I see all over the place busting their butts for their family. Nobody denies they work hard, okay? Well, but I mean, this is a bunch of kids and a bunch of gang members. What do you think's behind that, John Bound, Jakari, Jackson?
Well, Alex, you know, we try to be polite for the folks down here because we respect people that are of Mexican descent, that are Americans. And the more people that we've spoken to in this area, in the valley, that are of Mexican descent, that are legal Americans, natural, they're more afraid than anybody, because they're going to come into their communities first with their diseases, scabies, rabies, MRSA, chickenpox outbreaks. But the more of them you stack together in rooms that are incredibly small, the more disease outbreaks you're going to see, and then they're just going to release them.
Well, it's more than that. It's more than that. When I was a child, when I was in college, we would go down to Brownsville, all those places. It was nice on both sides. It's a hellhole of boarded up shops on the other side, and it's moving to the other side. They want prosperity down there. People down on the border know you don't want to make this side Mexico taking all the criminals on. And so you're right. In fact, it's the wealthy and middle class Mexicans that I know that live in Austin who've all fled to Austin, who I totally welcome because they've got trades and they've got money, and it's great. I mean, I welcome the middle-class Mexicans come up here all day long. They are the ones that come to you and say, do you know what's going on? Do you know how you're going to be kidnapped? Do you know there'll be nowhere to run? I love your show, Mr. Jones, because they've already fled it. You see what I'm saying?
That's exactly right, because you have to look at why they're coming here. So they come here to flee these gang problems or whatever, these social problems, and then they come here and then they just have the same problems here because they bring their problems with them.
Bringing them with them. Yep.
Well, it's true that everything from flesh-eating bacteria to leprosy, you name it. I mean, I know two people personally, one in Austin, one in Arizona, who have gotten the weird amoebas that are only like in Brazil and are supposedly only able to live down there that absolutely wreck your body. I mean, it's all coming here, which it's literally, and people say, oh, yeah, right, that's the classic thing, say immigrants have diseases. These people have not been to Brazil. They've not been, I mean, they have no idea what Calcutta, India is like, guys.
That's right. And then when they get here, if they have these various conditions, then they get in the pharmaceutical program, and that's a whole nother racket.
Well, see, that's the deal. The government and the corporations with the welfare system, they want the people that don't have jobs, or the 14-year-olds that are going to be institutionalized for 4 years at least. I mean, we're talking about millions of dollars per illegal that the big corporations that are administering government programs are going to milk.
That's right.
Now, guys, I'm ranting a little bit. Let's go over and look with the Skype. Walk over, Jakari. Walk over, John Bound. Give us a tour of the buses. Because, I mean, look, we knew they were illegals when it's the border and Greyhound buses pull through and kids get out with their bags and their parents aren't with them, and then they come into the United States. I mean, that was obviously what happened. But right. You talked to the Sacred Heart Church, and they confirmed, yes, these are, well, I guess they call them undocumented, or what do they call them?
Yeah, we talked to the Family Church. We're at the Sacred Heart's Church. I talked to one of the McAllen public servants out here. He said that all the people here are currently in a meeting, but as I can see right now, maybe we can get a camera shot. I see some kids out here playing out here in the facility. But yes, we plan to go back after a few minutes and try to talk to one of the representatives here to find out exactly what is going on.
Well, see, this is an infiltration point. So they want to mass the folks there, keep it quiet, give them Democratic Party marching orders, deploy to Battleground, Texas, where they're then handed the driver's license. And remember, the Veritas Project caught Battleground, Texas on video saying, we're going to get them to vote, we're going to get them ID cards. I mean, this is a criminal takeover.
Yeah, and you have to look at the incentivize, why they come here, because they see all these incentives. They see the free driver's licenses. They see the in-state tuition. Then they come here, and then now you have Joe Biden going to the the Central American countries and saying, please stop sending your kids here, even though they're being used as a political weapon.
Oh, well, yeah, that's them acting like, wink, wink, please stop, even though we've stopped deportations, even though we say your family can come up. This is totally premeditated, and again, if they were coming up here and we're pro-gun, pro-freedom, we're in such a fight against the socialists that I would say fine. But it still violates the law, so it's immoral. And then libertarians say, well, hey, don't have borders. But they've got borders on us. What if we get rid of our border, but all these other countries still have their borders? See, there's still a border there. See what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And we can't go to Switzerland. We can't move into Sweden. I can't go there. I can't go anywhere except the United States and live the rest of my life comfortably with what we have.
John, you've got to have, because I've checked into it, $5 million. And you've got to have a discretionary income and job that they want in Switzerland, like an engineer, a scientist. And then they have a board. Look if they even want to let you move to Switzerland.
Right. Right. So what are we doing?
So I can't move to Switzerland, but these illegals come here and they get my tax money.
And they may kill you. That's the bottom line right there.
Yeah, and I mean, there are plenty of good people who come here, but you have to do it the legal, lawful way. Just like, as you said, you have borders for a reason. You know, I can't go down to Mexico. They always try to make it some racial thing. Oh, you harass people at the Mexican border. I was like, if I go down to Mexico as an American citizen, I'm going to get stopped at a border. When I go back to Austin, Texas here in a couple of days, I'm going to get stopped by the Border Patrol who are nowhere near the border. How many miles are they?
Well, not to mention you get put in a Mexican jail. You know how you get treated down in Mexico in a Mexican jail? You come up here, you get put in jail. They don't even put you in jail. They take care of you, they feed you, and they send you on your way, no matter how many crimes you've committed.
That's right.
That's right. They're releasing aggravated felons. Give us some shots for TV viewers. This is very newsworthy, guys. Credible job.
I'll step out the way and let our cameraman get some shots here. Now, what you see behind you is a facility. This is the Sacred Heart facility. You can see some kids out here.
It's huge.
Playing football, basketball, and I guess we can walk around here a little bit.
About 5 blocks from the bus station. We're about 5 blocks from the bus station.
Yeah, just watch your course there. We'll give
you know what I want you guys to do? I mean, obviously, targets of opportunity, do whatever you want, but I would go and follow those buses and then follow those vans.
Well, you know, the thing about it, the buses don't seem to be running today, at least that we've seen. We've gone to the church and also to the bus station. We didn't see any buses running today, and we were able to confirm with the first church we visited that their offices are closed, and that potentially means that their buses are down for this day.
But we do want to go down to Hidalgo and actually have people coming across the border. There's supposed to be hundreds of people just crossing in broad daylight.
Tell us about your different federal whistleblowers you're going to be talking to.
Well, one of our reporters, Don Salazar, was able to get in touch with, I believe it was an ICE agent, and he doesn't want to be identified, so we're not going to say his name, but he's supposed to give us some whistleblower information, tell us exactly what's going on, tell us about how even the ICE agents and the Border Patrol agents are very much concerned about what's happening, and how some of the Border Patrolmen have come out and said blatantly that, yes, this is an intentional plan to bring these people here. And this is another part of the facility, the Sacred Heart facility. This looks maybe like some type of housing unit. It's a very large complex.
Yeah, and they are in there during the day and then released at night into the streets.
Yeah, well, then you need to catch them tonight. Just incredible job. How long are you guys going to be staying down there?
Well, we're trying to hit as many targets as we can. As John said, we're trying to get down to Hidalgo and a couple other locations. So what do you think, John?
Well, I would say at least till Tuesday. And we need to go to Brownsville, and we need also to talk to the locals and get that documented, how they feel about this, because people really are upset. And just some of the casual conversations I've had with people.
Well, I'm telling you, if you catch video of them exfiltrating the illegals at night, they're acting like it's an underground railroad. That's what Christian churches have likened it to, as slavery. Now, the Underground Railroad, which my ancestors were involved in, and a lot of Christians were, getting freed black slaves or runaway slaves out of the South into the North. How is it that we have to have everybody from China, Eastern Europe, Mexico, Latin America, taxpayer paid for? How is it an Underground Railroad to ship them all into the country?
Isn't that really an insult to former slaves? How is what they're going through anything compared to what people went through in slavery in this country?
But, I mean, it's just they're being bussed up here with sack lunches and then put on the welfare rolls. I mean, I just... no country's ever done this. Great job, guys. You choose whatever you want to cover. You've done an amazing job. Your story's up on drudgereport.com. Fox News is now airing clips of it, not giving us credit, whatever. But great job, guys. And just like last week, keep doing the real reporting the dinosaur media won't do. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
We're going to come back with JJ, Chad, Mark, Adam, Damien, and others. Thank you for holding. From the water table to our soils to the atmosphere itself, our world is becoming more and more toxic each and every day. But it's not just the air outside that's toxic. Indoor air has been shown to have 2 to 5 times higher concentrations of pollutants than even outdoor air. And most Americans spend 90% of their time inside using toxic chemicals within their homes. There are more than 42 million smokers in the United States. Well over 1,000 types of mold and mildew linked to numerous conditions. And don't forget the fact that 6 million Americans live with pets they're allergic to as well. When I began to research these statistics, it was clear to me it was time to start cleansing my lungs in order to combat the toxic environment that we cannot escape, but that we can fight back against. Made with organic and wild cultivated herbs and manufactured in the USA, the new Infowars Life Lung Cleanse is here in a convenient spray bottle that can be brought with you throughout any toxic environment. Now available exclusively at InfowarsLife.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Hey, now you can watch The Alex Jones Show live as it happens at Infowars.com/show.
Let's go to JJ, then Chad, Mark, Adam, Damien, and others on the Iraq situation and on the topic of illegals. JJ, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing today?
Sometimes at the start of the show, I'm just so freaked out. I mean, everything's happening right now. The country's being shut down. I physically mourn, and I'm not trying to be melodramatic. I mean, I'm freaked out. What about you?
I'm freaked out. I can feel it in the pit of my stomach because we got these people coming across the borders. There's no shot records on these people. There's no documentation on any of their records as far as arrest records. Just the other day, I was over here at the store in Austin, and 3 guys stopped me. They were federal marshals looking for one of those rapists that they just let out of jail. They've asked me twice, have you seen this guy? So I know they let those criminals
out of jail. Yeah. One group lets them out, and the rest of the feds have to chase them around. It's total lawlessness. It's exactly.
Yes, I think that what needs to be done now, can you imagine if all these people that are coming across the borders were Muslims? Americans would be having a cow.
Well, you know, that's what the Border Patrol whistleblower told us. He said a big percentage is actually from places of interest, radical Islamic countries. That's actually happening.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just uncalled for. I don't know why our government's even allowing this to happen. I'm a veteran, and I applied for food stamps. They said I could get $16 a month for food stamps. I'm like, wait a minute. And then we got people coming across the border getting free health care, free everything, driver's licenses.
Listen, brother, I got a bunch of family that 10 years ago were middle class and now can't pay for gas. The country's in a depression. They want to, the whole world's collapsing. Spain is collapsing. Portugal, Greece, Italy. There's riots everywhere.
Yeah, we've got to step up to the plate as Americans and make sure that this doesn't happen to our country as patriots, and we have to do something. What do you think we should do? Just as what can the average Joe do, Alex?
I think people should go right down to Home Depot, right off I-35 and 290, and you'll see in the morning 100 illegals at one time. They're running around. And the point is, you show that, then you show the TSA groping people. Bottom line, the laws do not apply to the illegals. Bottom line, the government's lawless. Bottom line, Al-Qaeda under the name ISIS is being given the entire Middle East, as I've been telling you. But I still can't believe the government is this crazy to do something like this. My dad was over with the kids for Father's Day yesterday, and he looked at me and he said, I got a bad feeling, son. I think you're right about all this. And the elite are just going to gut up and go crazy. And I go, what do you mean? He goes, just do everything. They just are crazy because they never get held responsible. Let's go to Adam in Iowa on Osama bin Laden and the Iraq War. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing today, Alex?
You know, I'm not trying to whine. I just really feel upset. I'm very disgusted.
Well, you got a hard job.
Yeah.
Well, if you type into the search engine, Osama bin Laden with George Bush.
Yeah.
That'd be back in 93, 94, somewhere in there. You can actually find the interview where he's interviewing Osama bin Laden. That proves we're financing Al-Qaeda. Anybody can do that. And I have nothing against the immigrants as long as, they actually do it legally. If they do it legally, I have no problem at all with it. And this one here is more for you. God works in mysterious ways. I've been awake now for about 7 months watching your show. A friend of mine turned me on to it, and since then I've awoken 20 people just in my town alone. So when you say you're not doing well, cheer up, because you are. You're doing a fantastic job.
Listen, I know. I tell myself every day, brother, be positive, be happy. We're having an effect. I can't help it sometimes. I'm just being honest with the listeners. The last month or so, it's beyond disgust I have for the establishment. Watching them try to wreck things, try to make people poor, watching them turn the world over to Al-Qaeda and slaughter Christians everywhere, it's just hard to believe they're this bad. And where's the general public waking up? I appreciate your call. I appreciate it. And I should put a better face on myself here. My problem is I've always been so honest about how I feel. So if I'm in a nasty mood, I'm honest about it. I'm just sick of these people, man. I'm sick of them. Damien in Arizona, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, how you doing, Alex? Sometimes I don't get your sarcasm, so I'm trying to call to make sure if I heard you right. At the near end of Dr. Monteith's interview, did you just call for intervention in Iraq?
No, I was pointing out as Deadville's advocate that now the West has funded Al-Qaeda to go in and do this, and Obama is trying to act like, oh, we don't know how to target them with drones. They're all lined up on highways invading. They could wipe out half these people with a few dozen A-10 Warthogs. So my point is that they're fully behind it. But I'll be honest with you, I'm against intervention because the globalists are evil, and no matter what they do, it's going to be turned to evil. But quite frankly, I'd like to see A-10 Warthogs take out all those Al-Qaeda people. Yeah, I would like to see that. I'd like to see a good president, a bunch of Al-Qaeda invade out of Saudi Arabia and Syria. I'd like to see them all blown to hell. It's the same Al-Qaeda been attacking the Syrians and killing 300,000 Christians in the last 3 years. So at a gut level, I want them dead. Yeah, you bet. I'm sick of seeing Al-Qaeda with black flags, chopping people's heads off. They're a bunch of scum.
I hear you. If the military was run by good people, honest people, and actually New World Order weren't controlling them, so it would be like if you want them sent in, you'd be sending in the same
It's the
people.
Ring of Mordor, though. I agree with Monteith. You can't do it because it always just turns to evil.
You are watching the best of the Alex Jones Show, weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. Watch live at Infowars.com/show or become a member of InfoWarsNews.com and help us take resistance to the next level.